Good morning, everyone. This market doesn't know what to do with this data. I think everybody's feeling it's extended. It needs to come down, but it won't come down. And there's just this whipsaw going on here. And looking at the daily chart, S&P futures, basically a yawn. It's like the other day, nothing is going on here. So we'll see if something goes on. Initially, it was just, as you can see, this whipsaw on the 5 minute chart is whipping back and forth. Intraday little breakout failure earlier, topping pattern, whipsaw. Got a decent amount of support right over here. See if it holds. But unless things break one way or the other, well, just don't bother trading this because it isn't moving. That's the way it is. Different stocks certainly are moving. We'll pay attention to those here in the room. Looking at others, I mean, you can see futures are up a little bit, but in the context of the daily chart, it's just an inside day so far. And you can see the NASDAQ futures have just been whipping back and forth, back and forth. Um, you know, and I don't draw these to draw support and resistance. It's just to take note of how the ranges are contracting and getting tighter. And so unless people are going to stop trading, which is not going to happen, whether it's today or tomorrow or next week, this thing's got to break one way or another as it reaches this apex. Um, Again, just inside day, so not going anywhere. Um, the Russell is whippy back and forth, coming down here. Weekly chart, greater than 100% retracement. It took out the high, consolidating, again, going nowhere. Trend is up. Uh, Now the Dow, you know, that's moved up and it's like this because we new contract there. Let's see if the continuous looks better. Not really. Yeah. So again, change in the contract, but just moving up at the pivot high, not doing anything there. Now interest rates. Now we talked about this down here. Is that the support looking for it to stabilize? And it's moved up. It's coming up into resistance. So we assume there's going to be sellers there. But the market's reaction to this move up in interest rates, which typically would be to sell off, it's doing nothing. So assuming it does make a turn here, right, at this resistance and then begins to turn down, that should leave theoretically to the markets breaking out above that what I drew there on the Nasdaq breaking to the upside. You can see it's going up. 50 MA is pointing up. Uh, Major support down here. It's up near the highs. It's holding as interest rates went up. So again, we'll see if it can break out. If interest rates start to turn lower. But right now, there's just nothing going on. You see pre-market here. It's near the prior day's high. It's not going anywhere. See the tight little range there. So it's at resistance so far. Just looking at the hourly chart, until something else happens, we'll just consider this bullish price action since it's chopping around in this area near this reversal. And we'll wait to see if it breaks intraday, some short-term support um, or resistance. Kind of boring, but that's the way it is until things begin to change. Again, Qs, futures, things are moving down here a little bit. Again, inside day, pre-market inside trading, inside an inside day, inside a trading range. So just whipsawing. And what does that tell us to do? Stay away, not to get chopped up. Uh, let's see here. The dollar kind of unchanged, even with interest rates moving up a little bit. Uh, Oil, it's up near the prior turn. It's been holding up here. Just whips on back and forth. Looks like it's going to go higher, which if it breaks out above here, that in opposition of the interest rates possibly reversing back down again, helping the market, I can't imagine how this would help the market at all if this breaks out above this area. So, just set an alert. We'll see if it breaks out. There's a lot of things just chopping back and forth, other than gold, which, while it's down here, pre-market, it's just hanging here after an extended run. And this is typically what happens when you get a momentum move like this out of a consolidation. Buyers are going to keep coming for it. And so while normally with an extended move away from the moving averages, we look to buy pullbacks. Most times it's not going to happen. You're not going to get the pullback. Usually it'll go sideways until the moving average, the 20, catches up. If you're using a shorter term moving average, and that makes things kind of subjective because who knows which one would actually catch up. But the 20 is a pretty good guide historically. But if it dips down and we were to get like a correction bar, which could be a bottoming tail bar breaking under these lows, or it could come down with a red day and flip right back up again, just about a retracement down and a complete retracement back up again. You can see there's intraday support. But again, right now, just going nowhere. Silver chopping back and forth here, big move up. Trading range overall on the weekly chart, but this looks like it should get to the top of the trading range. Bitcoin, as everybody knows, has been on a tear. Right now, that's doing nothing. It just seems like institutions, traders, just waiting for what? I don't know. But, with this inflation data that's come out, there was some, pretty big numbers there, and the market's not moving. That suggests to me confusion. Bullish trends, a lot of liquidity, things are extended. They should come down, but they're not, and they're just going nowhere. Transports, which we've been talking about, range, tighter range within a bigger range, going nowhere. And semiconductors correcting, a bit after the big wide range bar. Again, inside day, going nowhere. Trading inside that day. And I drew this yesterday, this head and shoulders top, but it's not breaking one way or another yet. So waiting on that. Technology, consolidating, going nowhere. I mean, it's the same thing. Others retailing, it's reversal here. Got an alert under the lows. Here's an example of the 20 MA catching up. Minor support here, which it didn't get down to, which is bullish. So more consolidation. Financials broke out. They've been, back and forth here, but tight. So, I mean, that's a huge positive for the market, even though, look at the weekly charts, right? Look at this tiny, it's only red bar on this move. It's incredible bullish price action in financials, and they're just not giving up an inch. And, just chart like this looks like it's going to accelerate higher, out of this consolidation like that. And that could be the end of a move, but it's just, you can see it's gapping up here a little bit. Energy, right? Money is definitely moving into energy stocks. So That's kind of the fly in the ointment as to the bullish case, but things are going nowhere. And it's one of the, I think, the reasons that many are just kind of waiting to see, which way things are going to flip or not. I mean, just going up is not a positive. Oil trying to break out is not a positive, but markets won't give anything up. Uh, this is mid caps. We don't look at that too much, but it's bullish. Same story of a consolidation extended from the 20. And I don't know, it's kind of waiting for things to move one way or another. There's not much more to say about the markets in a consolidation within bullish trends and multiple time frames, and waiting for things to break one way or another. So kind of short for me, but there's nothing going on here. So we'll see what things are gapping, which way the markets might move today. I mean, in the room here, we're always looking for trades in the markets. And see they're selling off a little bit further. So as I see this, the big support area is down here, which in the short term, I mean, it's not a big move. I mean, as you look at a 5-minute chart, it looks like, wow, what's going on here? And putting it in perspective of the hourly and the daily, it's just more of nothing. But if it comes down here, and ideally it continues to come down fast, because then it begins to stabilize. At least we have a tradable bounce for an intraday trade. Right now, this could, who the hell wants to trade that? Just, going to get whipsawed back and forth, back and forth. SPX. Yes, 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 yes. So let me just see these numbers if they're still coming off a little bit. So 51.10, 51.10. I mean, I think that's a no-brainer. I mean, just the way things are acting, and this is up from yesterday. Right? Yesterday was 52.05, and now it's higher on a market that's whipping back and forth. That's suggestive to me that these option traders buying more calls on the down move. I mean, is that complacency? Is it stupid? I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's in a bullish trend, but is it going to break out when nothing's going on here right now and things are moving lower? And this strike moved up from yesterday. It suggests to me a no-brainer. It's not going there today. And I say that with the typically, the usual disclaimer that anything could happen. But I mean, it just suggests to me wildly bullish things going on here that are not based on reality of things moving up, and the weekly chart and things just trading inside. Because we're talking about today. We're not talking about next week or 2 weeks from now. We're talking about options that are going to expire in several hours. Does that make sense? And you know, the downside, the way things are acting inside, I don't think it'll get down there just now, but I think it's highly unlikely that it gets up there versus potentially coming down there. Oh, would you do? Oh, I did it. Okay, all yours, Dan.
Good morning. Yeah, I was shocked that the market didn't move very much and that it was up so much into these numbers. But the flip of that is I didn't think it was going to be a big deal the way they ignored the numbers on Tuesday. But that was a very minor wiggle with one of those numbers being doubled, 0.06 versus 0.03. And the market, yeah, as Greg said, I want to go down. And so then what the media does always cracks me up is come up with a scenario to justify your complacency, which is, oh, don't worry about it. Rates are coming. It's just a temporary inconvenience. So don't worry about it. I mean, I'm personally so sick of just hearing about interest rates. It's ad nausea every single day. Who cares? All right, so my up alarm went off on PSX. We are long this. We met our target yesterday on the put side, but this is such a beautiful breakout because of this continuation bar. You know, yesterday MT Live was bar by bar analysis. You know, that bar right there on Monday was so key to this pattern right there. So we're in that. Looks great. Let's see, I had a lift alarm go off. Pulling in a little bit, but we're core long this. A Tesla alarm. We have a bear put debit spread breakdown daily, weekly, monthly. Shoot, I don't like this retracement. I was hoping it opened down there in swan dive. But you know, even if I tighten the stop, even if we stop out, it'll be at a gain. Paul alarm, palladium. Had a nice gap from this little, you know, is it? I mentioned this yesterday. Big inverse head and shoulder gap breakout, and then 5 bullish sideways bars. Now it's my 99 alarm is going off here. Now let's go to earnings and then other stocks of interest. Path 25.45. All right, so that's a good 30-minute high trade. Let me put path down here. S, ugly gap. You know, I jokingly call this Sears, but it's one of them. Shoot, is it AI stock or cloud stock? I forget. One of them. No, cloud stock. All right, Baroom got all excited into earnings yesterday. Now it's coming back to earth. Lennar down $6, 159. Nothing to do. Goro, penny stock, no pattern. And ends. Wow, that's amazing when things rip into earnings on volume. So that you had some bulls. My only speculation is they had inside information. You know, how many people want to rush into an unknown gap number? Poor fossil. It's appropriate for its name. Fossil should be buried with the dinosaurs. Looks like another penny stock. Looks like it might be going to the graveyard. Another one. GRWG is a little marijuana stock. There's so many you know, when marijuana whenever a new industry comes out, I create my own list like EVs, marijuana, AI stocks. I had a monster list of pot stocks, and there's so many of them that are just less than $1, untradeable. There's probably only, you know, 6 or 8, 10 max. But nothing to do with this piece of garbage. I'll watch MJ. ETF. Health, another 29-cent penny stock, no interest. AGY 480. It's a bullish gap, but gap's too big. Be fine, another cheapo. They bought into earnings. Strong, no pattern. Gap and down. Could be a day trade short, maybe. Yeah, we're getting towards the tail end of earnings, so a lot of this is junk. Gap breakdown. All right, Dollar General. This is the only earnings trade I did. I did a Condor. I did like the 138s and the 180s. So I still got $14 a comfort on the upside. I'm just bidding 3 cents to get out of mine. All right, YouTube asking about Hood. Yeah, I saw the gap on Hood. Yeah, it's a bullish rectangle consolidation. I don't know. I think it got an upgrade today, or I'm not quite sure what. But yeah, I don't know what to do with it. There's no pattern for me. Raul asking about cert long. Yeah, it's a buy setup following. Yesterday we talked about the difference between a bottoming tail range expansion and a WRB. But that was bullish. So yeah, let me put cert on the list. Set an alarm at 19.25. BBW broke out. These are still earnings. Nothing to do with it, but it's bullish daily, weekly, monthly. Ava, I don't like the way the 15-minute trades. G, triple I that's an ugly gap down. That's ugly. We'll come back to it. Momo's ugly, 620. That's a nasty gap. I mean, look how many bars it's gapping on. Ugly, ugly. But I don't know what to do with it here. Whiskey Bravo up a little bit. We'll come back to the Burr 1432, bullish gap, maybe 30-minute high day trade. Futu, $62. All right, now this would be a good 15. I can't give you precise. I need to watch it. But this is a nice pattern for a day trade short and a call spread 30-minute low. So that's very interesting. A DKS 2. Wow, that's a big gap. Man, all-time highs. Now that's bullish as can be, but tomorrow is Friday. So I will put this on my 30-minute low list for a 1 DTE call spread. And then BK, all right, so I'm done with earnings there. IWM has been showing a little relative strength. McGraw sent me something that I just picked up on one sentence that I thought was amazing. Look at Mr. Was up, now down. This is a call spread candidate now. I'm running out of thumbnails here. So one line said, since mid-February, 25% of the run of the gain in IWM is attributable to MicroStrategy and SMCI. 2 friggin' stocks, 25% of the IWM. So I've been talking about selling naked calls on this thing week by week, but now it was on my list even pre-market. It was on my list pre-market with the gap up that I was hoping it would gap up $200. And then that would be a great exhaustion gap. But look at this. This is a climactic sell setup. Far from the 20, 50, 200. The greed on this thing is off the charts. Well, I don't care. I don't. That's 100% irrelevant to me. All right, so that's a beautiful call spread candidate. Alex mentioned this PPLT broke out along with that, Paul we talked about, PALL. Costco is a 1, 2, 3 after getting whacked. That's a put spread watch. TJX, made the turn, as we call it. We got to do another MT live on that soon. But deep pullback, and it made the turn. Here's another one I posted pre-market, ADT. Now the turn is not as pretty, but today's Thursday. If it can get over Tuesday's high, making the turn at the 50. I just saw Argentina going by the ticker when Greg was talking, so I just pulled it up. Argentina ETF, the gap breakout. It's bullish weekly, monthly. Look at that. Old Argentina. CXM alarm. Sam, this looks like one of yours, sprinkler company. I can't tell for real about that gap, but looks good. Chop, I posted a put spread over yesterday's high. McDonald's got killed yesterday. That's one ugly bar. And then look at X got killed and it's gapping down. I'm going to watch that for a turn. That'd be a great one DTE put spread. And my girl sent me something about, part of the reason of the sell-off is a foreign company wanting to buy them, and then I don't know. I didn't read it. I really don't care. All right, NVIDIA is a call spread candidate. It's not a Climo like Mr. Well, it was here, but for a 1 DTE, there's still juice at the 950. Wimmy trades wildly, but something's up with it today. Nice big old gap. BBAI we were watching yesterday. I was if it closed strong, I would have given this as a long for a partial bounce, and then I saw it popping last night. Look at Soon. I'm so mad I didn't give this one. Soon on Tuesday was a beautiful continuation right there. And then look, I'd be selling half pre-market right now. That's a monster run from $6 to $9.50. All right, perfect timing. Got through all those. Obviously, still have a list here from yesterday. IT alarm 1, 2, 3. Let's just give it a few minutes, 5, 10, 15, 30. But this is an idea. Pat giving up the whole gap here, so now I have no interest. So I put IT there, DKS. Gaps, strong as can be. You never know what percent is new buying versus short covering unless you own the brokerage firm that they're being cleared through. Because then they gotta mark the ticket accordingly. RSG. Yeah. I kind of stopped watching it yesterday on the deep retracement. Let's see what it does in the first 5 minutes. All right, our PSX is a nice gap up. Let's move stuff under 154 now. AVAV up alarm. We were talking about that one the other day. PSX 154. We're up almost $6. Looks great. Let's sell another third in the strength here. It's a judgment call, though. It does look fantastic. Yeah, we got almost a $6 gain. That was a great setup. Yeah, like I said, we made our money on the put spread yesterday. All right, that bell was I'm out of my condor of Dollar General at 3 cents. So to Sam, notice, just for another example, my 3 cent guess to get filled was a good guess because it took 2 minutes of bobbling around to get filled. Had to bobble, spreads tighten a little bit. Yeah, it's always a guess at the open. And then I just, look again after they tighten in a couple minutes. ADP, I'm gonna set an alarm. It's over this bar, 245.67. And yields, man, market's holding strong with yields doing this. Remember they used to like just trade in such a correlation now. I guess they're playing out the camp of I don't care. Bitcoin falling. All right, Mister. Let me check the juice for tomorrow. That is short-term exhaustion. I mean, you got rocks in your head. I look, it almost was at 1850 pre-market. I wonder what idiot bought up there. Wow, Greg. Look at the premiums. We can get, man, I thought SMCI was high. For 1 DTE, 2100s are 2 by 3. We could get $1 for the 2250. That is $600 away. Insane. Wow. Wow. I think this is the new toy now for a couple days instead of the SMCI. All right, let's test that. Let's give 5-minute high at least. Well, I mean, Don, it does until you're on the wrong side of it. And that the short squeeze, and then your sphincter's tightening up. But yeah, I mean, we're in the ballpark.